let's go through that. Our map bans are ready. I thought only the Australians were doing late night siege, but we have our own version here in the EU. Woo. Map banner in 7,000. Oh boy, Kevin Dostoevsky!
We did it. Let's go, boys. Now this is a sus. Now this is a sus ban. Now,
chat.
Sus ban. Is this real?
Production, can you confirm it is actually cafe? Wait, I'm sorry. Emergency meeting at call for
meeting, boys. Looking kind of sus. It's not Oregon. No, it's definitely Cafe. And I've actually said to Amerta just a few days ago, I think Cafe is my favourite map to watch Secret. I will never forget their game against Crazy back in CL Season 11. It was one of my favourite and still is one of my favourite games of Siege I've ever watched. They play it in a really interesting way. Against Rogue, a team that is more regarded for being, again, these mid-round flourishes with Aces and Rogue picking up 2 or 3 kills in seemingly every single round. As long as Secret maintain a type shit here, I don't see a way in which they lose to Rogue. Rogue have got to do a lot of work, especially without Aces today, if they're going to take this away from Secret.
All right, before my internet crashes again, Jess, let's take a look at what all of us thought. As is tradition.
Get us all in, because whilst you're getting us all in, I just want to say,
go ahead.
I mean, it's deja vu here for Team Secret. They played on Monday. If you guys don't know, Monday they played, and then they beat G2 7-2.
7-2.
So, I mean, it's going to come again. Yeah, on Cafe. The same map, and that's my point. I mean, they can do it.
All right, predictions, all of them. Let's go. Social media first. Let's see what everybody thought at home. Omerta himself was calling, Packball Rackball, so maybe there's something inspired by the Skaven. There it is, 58% on Rogue, 37% for Secret, and 5% on the draw. I is actually leaning in a bit of a different way. Let's take a look at our total predictions here in the entire talent team. Let's go. Hello.
What did I pick for this, actually? I don't even remember.
I went for a draw. We agree. Wow.
We were not Rogue fans today, guys. I thought I was going to be edgy by doing this, but apparently
wait a minute, James. Wait a minute, James. Rogue were not Rogue fans on Monday. What are you talking about? This is just
you can't be a fan of yourself if you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like
TK Corey, it's called there for a reason. I'm sorry. All right, you know what?
The TLDR is that Secret are in top form and Rogue just aren't.
Maybe too early to tell, though, James. Remember, we had this conversation, Prano and everything. He's saying, you know what? Even from his perspective, very calm and collected. Maybe it's too early. Let's give it some time, and then we'll have another chat about it. What's your take on it, James?
Yeah, I think Secret played really well on Monday, not just that G2 played badly, and Rogue also, like Empire played really well, not just that Rogue played badly. But yeah, Rogue actually have beaten Secret twice, 7-2, the last time these guys played, including once on Cafe. So I think a safe bet would be on Rogue, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to Secret, not G2. G2 can't win in this game.
Stuck in the man's head, he's obsessed.
I'm off stroking my picture of G2 and my little picture of Virtue. When
let's be honest, I have a photo of Uno right here. I won't show it to you yet, but...
I ain't gonna lie, right, Mila, me, you and Hap have already sat here and bullied Jess for her prediction earlier on tonight. I want to have this happen again, so please... Let's just see it go completely against Jess. That's all I'm asking for in this game, boys.
All right, you know what, Gio, James, I know you guys are super excited for this one, so let's toss it on to you. Is it going to go your way with Team Secret victorious? Will it be Rogue or yet another draw for the day? Rogue v Secret. Gio, James, enjoy.
Thanks, Milosh. Yeah, this is a really big one because there are so many unknowns about these two teams. Obviously, Team Secret showed up so much on Monday, but was that a fluke or is this the new Team Secret that we're going to see? And Rogue, having had a few troubles of late, can they fix that in time to come back to top form that we've seen them on before?
Yeah, we've got a lot of roster questions, don't we? Rogue not playing with all cannons firing, and Team Secret bringing in the new talent that so far has performed quite well. But this is another level. It's not just G2 that they've got to face. It's Rogue here on Cafe once again.
Exactly, and it's so nice to just get a little bit of a break from Oregon. Come on, it's something of a holiday, I suppose that you could
What
say.
map is this, actually? I don't recognize this map.
I haven't played this.
Are there multiple maps that teams can play? I thought it was just the one.
Well, yeah, especially not since map bans got introduced in ranked. That's
I am just playing Oregon and Cafe now in ranked every single game. But yeah, let's reel things back in for a minute here. Team Secret getting rid of the Thatcher. Right at the start. Let me double check this, but yeah, they banned Thatcher and Echo against G2, so I'd be expecting to see the same. This is exactly what I was hoping to see out of Rogue. We saw Packball doing really good, and there you go. Prano is as unsurprised as I am. We saw Secret leverage that Montaigne really, really well against G2 just the other day, and I think it's a smart move from Rogue to get rid of it. The Clash, I hadn't seen so much of from either of these teams. I know Rogue has played it in the past, but that one's I don't have quite as much on. But the Valk for Team Secret is a bit of a surprise because that leaves Echo open, which is what they banned just the other day.
Yeah, I also find it funny because, last time these two teams played against each other, which admittedly was on Clubhouse when we look back in stage 1, but it was actually Secret who ended up banning Monty. So how, we keep saying it, how the turns have taken, how
we
things
need to think of another
over.
way to say that.
I know, it's because I don't even say it thinking like, oh, this is going to be funny. It's just my go-to phrase.
It's
and
an
I get
earworm
halfway...
that's stuck on all our brains.
I get halfway through saying it and I'm like, oh, this again. Like, I'm annoying myself.
Well, for the first bomb site choice, it's reading Fireplace. In some ways, in my opinion, the best bomb site on Cafe, contrary to popular opinion, especially for those that aren't so familiar with the pro scene. You're probably thinking, why aren't they going bar or maybe kitchen? Well, this bomb site, you can kind of think of it like bar with extras. You can actually hold on to cocktail on the top floor for a really, really long time. Fortify yourselves in, reinforce over where Draven is at the tarps. Shate can put some utility upstairs, especially if you've got some shields. We have one on the smoke. You can really, really fortify this top floor. And while the attackers are trying to file their way in through bar, you can just make the floor lava with the 3 C4s that Secret have brought to the table. Info gathering as well, thanks to the pulse. And it makes it very difficult to clear out this top floor. And even once Rogue do take control of the top floor, they're going to have to go downstairs and execute. And if they don't clear out the top floor, then they're going to have to deal with Secret having the vertical advantage with holes through the floor to deny those plants. So it always comes down to how the attackers decide to deal with it. Do they want to go for that top floor clear? If so, how successful are they? With the Thatcher ban, it's going to be much more difficult to breach those walls thanks to the mute jammers. So I'm all ears. Rogue, what do you got?
Yeah, I find that one of the big things, especially when you are holding the top floor, whether it's because of this bomb site or if you go to bar and cocktail, one of the big things for the attackers is making sure you're time efficient on your clear, because it's such a vertical map, I suppose you could say, because you have those 3 floors. It can take a long time, and by the time you do reach that site, sometimes time is really, really dwindling.
But Rogue are wasting no time to clear out this top floor. They're not trying to ignore it, and I think that's the right decision. Wow, that's not a sight you see every day. What was someone calling it earlier today? The, like, race car hollow site?
The Tesla hollow?
Yeah, the Tesla
I think is what
hollow.
Jess called it.
Yeah, looks like something out of Hyperscape, another popular Ubisoft game. And hey, Rogue are, look, Karzeka's unpopular optic choice aside, Rogue are doing a good job taking control of the top floor. They've established themselves now. Piano as well, the Sledge making short work of these walls, but of course he can't deal with the wall in backstore. And these C4s starting to come on out. You'll notice Hype is actually calling for his teammates to get those C4s down as Shate finds Leon, who is biting off a little bit more than he could chew, aggressively in bar.
And doing quick work on him, who obviously has been touted to be looked at by our analysts. Certainly one of those players, but Shate is also going to be going down in return. Toxic Bay Cantor's getting ready, and actually Corey caught that one player as he runs desperately into the smoke. In goes the frag grenade. Not going to be finding anyone though, as Packball finds himself rotating into Fireplace to move across the map.
Now, I believe Rogue have full control of the top floor. Yep, indeed. So this is when we start to see the floor being minced up. As old mate Emzo once said, holes work both ways. So, oh, wait, what is this cheeky little business from Pranos? He going for a flank up red. He's tempted with the idea. He shoots that flank what's shown, but he needs to get a move on because his team is at a numbers disadvantage now. And classically, there will be players watching this flank, but I don't think anyone is aware. Surely not. Prano with Pillars control can find the first kill. That is huge, but he needs to make sure he can support his team because his team is now just hyped downstairs near the bomb site. 20 seconds left.
Well, Hosty wasn't far away, and he managed to get a kill as well. And as you mentioned, the team isn't far away. Not that much time. 2 players remaining on the side of Team Secret, and they could find themselves getting overwhelmed by Rogue as they move in. Hive also upstairs, and now that plant is beginning to go down, they're going to have to jump down or shoot into the floor. That's what Prano does, and he gets Hosty. Make that rips as well. Now the plant has been down, but all they need to do is finish things off. Just 1 player remaining on each of these teams. Kajeka is going to have a lot of pressure on him. If he gets killed here, that's going to give Hive the perfect opportunity to be able to disable the diffuser.
He doesn't know.
But if he goes for it, oh my god, he peeked him. But can he get him? Hidden in the back store. There's another peek. It's just the peaks, but it's going to be Hive who wins it out. That's going to give him maybe just enough time. He has to get there within 7 seconds.
He doesn't have it!
He didn't get there within the 7 seconds. He was milliseconds away. So he's going to desperately try, but it won't be enough. Rogue take that round by the skin of their teeth.
That's unbelievable. The fact that Prano could flank up red and find 2 kills was crazy. The fact that Hive could pull off the exact same thing, really smart move from the Secret players, by the way, to communicate the fact that Prano had already flanked up red and Rogue didn't know, told Hive that he could do the same thing because there were no more flank drones there. So really smart from Hive, but he was just a little bit too slow. Literally, I think, 200 milliseconds too slow to getting that defuse off. I don't think I've ever seen a defuse that close before.
It was certainly a risk, of course, because if he goes straight for the diffuser, you don't know if Kajeka is going to be there ready and waiting to just take your head straight off and end your opportunities and your chances. So he obviously had to hide away. Team Secret, they'll be feeling the sting from that one for a little while, but it's time to move on to the next bomb site, and hopefully they're not going to let it get to them so much. You can just see in the replay viewer there, a little 1 versus 1 between Hive and Kajeka in the bar backstore. It's Kajeka falling. By that point, he had about 4 seconds left. I think it was about 11 seconds to go. You've got to make it all the way down to the other bomb site. So Team Secret will be hoping for better fortune, I think, in this next round.
Yeah, later on, Hive's going to be absolutely kicking himself at that. If he had maybe switched to the pistol to sprint over bar, this is big what-ifs, right? He already pulled off what really he shouldn't have been able to, but it's still going to bug him. Late at night, what if I had gotten that round? And maybe it'll make the difference if this ends up being a close game. But we have high hopes for Team Secret, especially after their strong start in Stage 2, taking down G2 7-2. So, the pressure is on now, going up against a weakened Rogue, playing with a substitute here of Hosty. We'll see if Rogue can stand their ground. And there's the replay for you. You can see 6.6, I think it was. So that's 400 milliseconds
It was
too late.
So close, man. Well, straight away, Rogue aren't going to be wasting any time to make work on the bakery wall. As the Selmas continue things on. You obviously used the Maverick so that they could get rid of that denial that was present. And that's going to mean Rips gets his opportunity to start droning in, join the rest of the team with that, as the pressure can now be applied onto the defenders on site.
Good positioning as well from these anchors. You'll notice that Secret opting not to play too aggressively in the front. A lot of people call it cooking, kitchen cooking and kitchen service. So the west side is cooking. That's where all the actual prep happens. You've got the chopping boards and the stoves. Thank you very much. And on the far back's where the dishes are. It's where they make coffee. So a lot of defenders don't really like to play too much in cooking itself. There you go. There's coffee, and I call this dishes where Packball's playing. We're all watching it.
This was a whole debate on Twitter recently.
Look, I don't care. They're wrong. I'm right. Okay. Packball's got a shield as well to support him, so it's quite difficult for Rogue to flush him out of this position unless they go above. And they're teasing out the idea of plant. You'll notice Rips hasn't actually gone in for it yet. He's just thrown one smoke to bait this out. And, well, they don't have dining controls, so Leon loses his head.
Prano knew Rips was going in for the plant there, but he's decided to change his mind, letting it be maybe somewhat of a bait, as a lot of those toxic bait canisters are coming in the direction of where the smoke and the attempted plant were. Sharte's going around, and he catches Corey out in the process. Now, there's still plenty of time with 30 seconds remaining here, but a man disadvantage for the attackers. They want to be sure that they're dealing with these defenders before they make any risky moves. And you can see Prano's just ready and waiting there in coat check to jump out should he need to. Posty starting things off with that kill onto Shate. That evens things out, but look, you can tell that Prano's ready and they didn't know where he was. The kills begin to come in, and suddenly it's only Hosty left. He's in a 1 versus 2 and maybe doesn't have a chance to put down the diffuser. 1 second left. He's not gonna get a chance to go for it, and Team Secret make up for what happened in the last round with a win on round 2.
I do like the idea there from Rogue. Really, really early, they had bakery control. It was 1 minute 55 left on the clock, so only a third of the round had gone by the time that the ace had completely demolished that bakery wall. And at that point, you're thinking, well, can we plant? What do we got to do between now and actually forcing down a plant? Now, we mentioned that there was no one in cooking itself, but there were 2 players far back in service, notably a Smoke and a Maestro, 2 operators which have the perfect utility to deny that plant. That is what it came down to by the end of it. The first smoke grenade from Ace came out to try and cover his plant. Rips was trying to bait it out at first, but it didn't really matter because that gas really prevented him from going in for the plant. And eventually, when he did commit, he lost so much HP from that. Of course, didn't see whether any Evil Eyes were still up, but if they were, they could see through that smoke and call out to the Secret players about that denial. On top of all that, the fact that Secret still had map control meant that if worst came to worst, Secret still had presence above, which they could deny through the floor. And that's why that pivotal kill came out from Shate in the top floor hallway. This is, wow, perfect timing production. This one right here meant that Shate still had control above and he could use these holes in the mining floor to deny that plant if needed.
I think there are a number of instances there, because obviously when you think of the kill that Prano got at the end as well, where Rogue didn't necessarily know the presence of Team Secret, or at least where they were, and maybe that'll be a tradition that continues forward into this next round as well, as obviously Team Secret have opted to go up to the top floor bomb site. Something you mentioned at the start, James, is that many people who perhaps maybe aren't so familiar with pro play would naturally expect this to be that primary site.
Yeah, well, you still have Wamai in and Thatcher Band, which does really leave a lot of possibilities here for the defenders. You'll notice that Secret have really leaned into these shields here. I'm assuming Smoke's got one as well, which brings us total to 4. Thank you very much, Medic. So 2 shields from the Goyo, and 1 on Pack Bull and 1 on Hive. There you go. Lots of fortified positions. There's 1 in Pixel as well, and 1 in Washrooms. It's actually something that I saw in ANZ first. Flex my Oceanic Nationals region. Good old team Okami. Cutie used to play. Yep, Cutie used to play a shield in Washrooms. The first region I saw do it. Now it's become commonplace here in EUL. And it's going to mean that it's very difficult for the attackers to clear that out. Not only have they got to waste those ADSs and the magnets from Umai as he throws them out, but there's 2 shields. Even if the first one gets taken out, you can see Hive move into Washrooms and still have a good position to contest Piano.
Yeah, and already the Vulcan shield got taken out in Freezer, so that does leave Packball a bit more exposed. There's the stun straight onto Hive, but he's still going to maintain the pixel angle that we very frequently see the Wamai holding on this site. About half the round is down now. Rogue is still taking time to drone out, but look where Corey's positioned as well. He's actually right on the rappel, and it looks like Team Secret are aware of that. Narrowly going to miss the opportunity to bring him down, but it does take his attention as he starts to divert where he was headed.
Leon opts not to shoot that camera. He doesn't want to reveal his position by making noise, and Shate is in a perfect position. This drone has to come out just a moment before Leon should get the pre-fire! A lucky flick. He just barely gets it now, droning up the white stairs. Leon wants to make a play, but this time, he doesn't have to overextend, and that's what we know Leon tends to do sometimes. But in the opening pick these last 2 rounds, he's in a good position, just needs to support his teammates.
You can see there is one of these attackers peeking round, and Hive's going to deal with that problem, which takes some of the risk off of Packball's shoulders, positioned there at the top of white stairs. But as I say that, it's going to be Hive, the next one to fall on the side of Team Secret, leaving just 2 remaining. Make that 1. Draven, everything is on him, but he can't hold it up on his own. 4 players on Rogue. They influx onto him and take their next round to so far have a back and forth here on Cafe.
admit I was a little bit scared there after we saw Leon get that first pick on the white stairs. He was being live droned up by a teammate, and I took a glance over what the drone economy was looking like on the Rogue side, and only 2 drones left. And that was including the one that was being sent up white, which means that there's not really a lot of control from the attacking perspective of where these defenders are, in particular flanks. You're basically just relying on the air jabs, and even just trying to live drone out these players on site, it's basically not possible. So it comes down to just information you already have about the general positions and game knowledge, map knowledge of where these players are likely to be. So there was that one in washrooms, one playing top white, one cocktail, and Rogue managed to just really push on through. I can't say that they really cleared piano and cleared those shields. They more so bypassed that setup and took advantage of a few picks they found here and there.
Well, what we know now is that if Team Secret are to repeat their efforts from Monday, Rogue can't get any more rounds. And judging by how they've been playing so far, I think it's safe to assume that it's probably going to be a lot tighter than we saw last time. Now, obviously, Team Secret have decided to come back to the first site they visited, and we all know how well, that was real heart racing, whatever adjective you want to use. And Team Secret are going to be preparing themselves once again for that, because they obviously want to get their revenge and prove that they can hold the defense on this site.
Main operator change here from Secret's site is the Wamai being taken instead of that smoke. Still brings a shield, but also brings some projectile denial in the form of the magnets, so easier to protect those shields. Didn't manage to, I can't quite remember it, but I believe really early on, Rogue was dispatching with the single shield that was played upstairs. I expected to likely be in the same position, deep in Cocktail, and Rogue really wasted no time taking bar control. Admittedly, they did lose the first pick, and Leon, wow, once again, he's getting so aggro. Look at that air jab on the fireplace as well. Means that he now knows he has control of this area. If anyone tries to move into that A-bomb site, he's got him, but at the same time, he's probably a dead man if he walks through, so he's just controlling that ground for now and biding his time.
It's very big as well, because we saw Packball utilizing that space before, and now that's not an opportunity that's going to be there. The nade that got tossed in didn't catch any target that is breathing, but maybe some utility was deleted of the defenders. That's obviously something you have to really bear in mind. As you see, so much of it is just littered around Cocktail. And Shate's got to be watching guard as he sits there patiently, waiting for the attacker's onslaught. Once again, you do have this pulse. The cardiac sensor being held by Hive. This is what we saw before. He was obviously the last player remaining in that engagement that we saw, but he'll be able to hand over that information to the rest of his team as Rogue head on in.
Pell in to Cocktail balcony, rips, eats the C4, but stays alive. Packball finds one, I believe that was at the top of the white stairs to take down Karjeka, who was pushing up from washrooms. Now Corey trying to push on forward, but the second C4 finishes what was left of Rips. Now there are 2 players left for Rogue to desperately try and make something work, but Hosty, desperate attempt to push through pillars, Corey to join him, and they've decided to completely forfeit this top floor control. Shate can remain upstairs along with the diffuser, which makes this very, very difficult for Rogue.
Makes it very hard, especially because they could just get spotted, and it's highly likely that Team Secret are aware of their location, especially now that they're opening up the wall. So you're going to have one person who obviously has to deal with that wall, and then the other one who's got to watch out for the flanks. They really have to be taking care of every single angle, but that one's not going to work out because Hive catches Corey out, leaving just Hosty again. He gets the kill onto Shate, which works out pretty well for him, but with 10 seconds remaining, there's not all that much he can do. Half HP and no diffuser being held. He has to get 3 kills in this time, but Hive making up for the problems that happened in the first round. He says, no, you're not going any further, and Team Secret take the round.
Yeah, I like that from Team Secret, and I can't point to specifically a moment where I think that the utility that they brought, the extra utility of the Wamai discs, made the impact, but I definitely saw a few moments where the ADSs from Jaeger was catching util. Rogue was trying to send on through to take Cocktail, and the be-all and end-all of that round for Rogue was failing to take cocktail control. Shate, with his shield, was allowed to survive the entire round, and 3 players pushing the top floor, 1 from White, 1 from Bar, and 1 from Heads, all fell. Sorry, 1 from, not Heads, the cocktail balcony. A lot of people have different names for it. I try and think of the one that people will actually understand the most. And having all 3 of those players die, I mean, partly it was C4s, so credit to the Pulse, managed to land a C4. Credit to, in particular, Packball, who was playing the top white stairs. Probably shouldn't have just found that 1v1 onto Karzeka. I would have liked to see maybe Rogue use a bit more util to displace that player on white. It would have allowed them to pressure from another direction. But I think, again, it's not as simple as, oh, just use your grenades. Because, I mean, Secret leaned really heavily into the Jaeger and were mine. It made it much more difficult to do that. They weren't quite successful in burning that util, and as such, they couldn't break that really tough nut to crack that is the cocktail control you need on a reading attack.
Yeah, I think Team Secret did a really good job of having control of the attacking utility in that way. When we saw the nades get tossed in, you could hear them being, burned out by the ADS that was present in there, or ADS is, I suppose. There was also a Midas on the end of Bar, so as you say, it was really strongly fortified. That's something that Rogue are going to have to watch out for moving into these next sites. Now, obviously, heading back down to Bar, we did see Rogue take this site, I believe, last time.
Yeah, they tried taking it. they took the they opened up Bakery really, really quickly. In fact, if they open it in the next 30 seconds, it'll be just as fast as last round. But
they
ended up
really
losing.
early plant. Yeah, the really early plant that they then decided not to do, and then they lost a lot of players in that time.
Yeah, the Plantanal really spelled death for Rogue, and that's actually what Secret have leaned into even more this time by bringing the Echo from Hive, who previously played Elysian. And it's funny, Secret have decided, look, let's just not worry about wall denial whatsoever. Last time Prano was on the Bandit, but of course we remarked upon how quickly Rogue opened up that wall. They even were about 5 seconds faster this round in opening up that wall. And that makes sense because Secret decided not to play wall denial whatsoever. But they're leaning into this plant denial, which I think is going to be a tough obstacle for Rogue to overcome when they eventually go for it.
Yeah, that certainly seemed to be something that, is quite hard for them, especially with the positions of many of the members of Team Secret who were off-site that Rogue realized they then had to deal with. And you can actually see some of that early pre-fire that Karzeka is going to be opting to take. They know that the Yokai's in there. Of course, you can see it on the ping 2.0. But the nade that's thrown in there by Karzeka is, of course, going to be eaten up by the ADS that's right by the bakery wall.
There are actually 3 ADSs all littered there in kitchen cooking. Cora's going to try and send another one, and that's likely to get chewed up as well. I think that actually went off, but I don't know whether it took down that Yokai drone. Rogue have already dispatched with 1 Evil Eye, but just as last round, there is still this presence above. Opening pick goes the way of Rips, and that takes down the Maestro as well. Leon jumps in, takes down 1, going for a flank, but Hive still has this Yokai, but there's still a lot of time left now for Rogue. Packpool getting very aggressive, all out of gas, and this significant amount of Plantanal from Team Secret has already been wasted.
Oh, Hive was so close there being able to take that shot, and meanwhile his teammate was able to do it, but he's going to have himself eaten up by Leon Gids. And now there's just 2 members remaining here of Team Secret. Suddenly a very different story to what we saw back in round 2 when we last had these 2 teams playing here. As you say, there's still some time on the board, but this aggressive positioning of Packball could change the story here for Rogue. But actually, it looks like they're changing their way in. They have to make the move in now. They don't have much time to kill, and Shate's going to be killing Karzeka. They know. Oh, they know, and Corey's going to be going down as well. The aggressive positioning, we said it before, and it worked out. Despite the fact that Rogue looked like they had the advantage, it didn't work.
Yeah, they found 2 opening picks, but they could not convert. And it came down to Secret retaking aggressive positions, in particular Shate, able to find 2 players while just sitting on the bomb site. And I really like that. Packball as well, getting really aggressive, just the side of the breach. It's a position that Rogue wouldn't expect to pre-fire. And on top of that, they didn't really have info. There was only one drone left, and with 25 seconds left, you're probably not going to use it anyway. It's probably somewhere pre-placed for a flank. So well played by Secret in the late round, despite Rogue once again being really, really fast with their hard breach. They opened up the bakery wall just as quickly as last round, and they dealt with some of that plant denial. They got 2 opening picks, but Secret held their grounds, and, well, they are currently leading on the defense, but 2 rounds for Rogue on the attack still isn't that bad, and they have a chance here to call it an even half if they can just break this bar defense.
And I think, you know, especially if Team Secret run a similar defense to what they did last time, then Rogue, of course, they're going to be able to use that to their advantage and add that to their knowledge. And as you say, obviously, it was really dismaying for them that they couldn't turn those opening picks, very powerful opening picks, into more than it ended up being. But we've seen what Rogue can do. I think this is still a team that we have to remember came first last stage. They came first in Pro League Season 11. Maybe they didn't have the best major, but this is still Rogue, you know? They still have what it takes.
Yeah, well, opening pick's going to make it nice and easy for you. Leon started weak. I did kind of single him out, be a bit critical of him, but he's gotten back into it. And played his role really well. I believe he's the IGL for the team as well, which does put quite a lot of pressure, especially as someone who... He wants to be on the forefront at the same time. But yeah, as you were alluding to, this is Rogue, the back-to-back EU #1s from the online season, EUL, and the Pro League Season 11. But of course, flopped in the major, as they frequently do in playoffs. Coming into this season, yet to find a victory in their single Playday thus far. But last time, my concern here for Rogue, attacking bar here, is the fact that they didn't really dismantle Secret's push in the previous attack. They did not really dismantle that piano hold, but getting that pick onto Hive really early means there's no more magnets left, and they should be able to take this control.
You can see them already coordinating here to try and remove the Evil Eye, which is currently being watched. And so far, I think it's actually... Oh, there you go. Goodbye. And so obviously...
See you later.
They,
oh, wait.
Yeah, oh, I guess not. Well,
it's an invincible Evil Eye!
It lasts
That's pretty
forever.
amazing.
Eventually, you know, a nade will to deal with that, but it does mean those 2 players did get pinged there, and Team Secret are very aware of their presence here in Cigar. There's a lot of utility as well, just for one thing.
Yeah, and I wonder whether Rogues still have util to clear out the shield that's in Freezer, which is the shield that they dispatched with really, really early on the previous round. Yeah, they don't. Oh, there's this last nade. This might get it. But if it doesn't, oh, it does. Yeah. There you go. Perfect. There you know. No, don't need to speculate. Don't need to hypothesize anymore. He got it, thankfully. But on the death of Hive, Shathe decides to get aggressive and take the position in washrooms, which is really important because it ensures that Team Secret still have some control and aggression into piano.
Yeah, you're completely right. Rips obviously looking over to the opposite balcony, as you call it. The cocktail balcony, some call it heaven. Basically, pick a name and go for it. But the point is, no one can be seen right there. Now, there is another ping coming out just inside of Cocktail that they know is there. Ooh, caught out is Leon. Make that Rips as well as things get aggressive towards the very end of the round. Kajeka has no choice but to go for a plant, but he has to stop. Once again, going for a start. It's constantly on and off, but it was too difficult. What a pressurizing end of that round, and Team Secret take it for themselves to finish the first half 4-2.
The great thing about that to me for Secret is they lost probably the most pivotal player on that defense right at the start without really having an impact. Hive is meant to hold on to piano for dear life. He's meant to be playing off of Pixel, and over time, the longer he stays alive, the more magnets he throws out, the more impactful he becomes, and the more difficult it is for Rogue to clear that utility and clear him out of that position. But Leon basically got a freebie from the repel right out of the gate. That nullifies that position, and it nullifies the magnets that were died alongside Hive. But we did have Shathe retake that position. Rogue didn't really aggressively fully take control of Pixel and Washrooms. even though they cleared out that player. And from then forward, I think Rogue stalled out a little bit. Yes, they made some progress here and there. They had to repel on the east side, but because of Team Secret's patience, even in their numbers disadvantage, Rogue wasn't really given an into the round until there was 12 seconds left and Rogue tried to execute with a 5 versus 4. Team Secret basically just had to hold their ground and deny the plan. They did just that.
I have to say, it's definitely very exciting to watch, given the fact that Team Secret did fall into those bottom 2 spots in the last stage. And obviously, you have the fear of auto relegations if that is your team. And it looks like they've just made the right changes because they are looking so together. It's a well-oiled machine. Obviously, there's still a great many teams that they have to go up against so far in the rest of stage 2, but it's honestly just a delight to see.
Yeah, which I'm really happy to see it. Personally, I love... Oh. All right, new player getting kills. Let's just hype him up. Yeah, Packbull, you're a god. Keep tapping heads and taking names.
Okay, massive. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. Look, Team Secret is getting more and more British again. Once again, they were the British team, and they're getting more and more British again. I know Dez is a bit of a fanboy, but hey, like just to add to your point and bring it back in for a sec, yeah, Team Secret looks like exactly the changes that they needed to make. So great stuff from Packbull. The support play that they needed allows Hive to play a bit more aggressive when needed as well. And Shate maybe wasn't quite the recipe that Chaos needed, but he seems to be fitting in much better here. And from the interview we had with, I can't remember which player it was on Secret, I think it was Packbull actually, just the other night, he said that Shate just brings so much humor and fun to the team as well, which is exactly what you want to have. You want to have a positive vibe, good vibes only.
Such an important thing to remember, that sometimes you just need the right environment and the right team, and that's looking like what it is for Team Secret right now. Now, can they prove that they can still hang here on the attack is the question that is yet to be answered, as over half the round has passed and Leon Gids is still the only casualty on either side, getting the fireplace hatch open. So that's going to provide a bit more pressure vertically, as the Kaid core was unable to prevent that from happening. And now Team Secret have a lot more space where they can do the work they need to actually start moving down onto the site.
Very much a vertical take, very much the opposite of what we saw from Rogue's own attack. They seem prepared for it. There's no C4 from Hosty. He takes a bit of damage and decides to get out of dodge, plays the hallway instead, as the ceiling above him there is solid. Karzeka as well, very cautious of these holes. Prano looking to peek down. And a very different interpretation of this defense from Rogue, but they are getting punished piece by piece. Draven finding Karzeka on the bomb site, and now Prano looking to take VIP. 25 seconds left, but they're going to have to turn the heat up.
That is exactly what they're going to have to do, as you can just see more blue, and it's going to appear in the kill feed there. Hive does get a kill in return, but there's still such a pressurizing amount of time. Packbull's going to go in for the plant, as just Rips and Corey remain. It's their job to deny it, creeping in through under the hole, and they're going to get 2 of those kills that they really require. Corey does start to go in for the disable, as it seems to be the job.
What?
Oh, okay! Never mind! That's not gonna happen at all. Hive comes in clutch and finishes things off from behind. It looked like Rogue had it in their control there against odds. And Hive just said, nope, nope.
SNG recoil OP. There you go, Hive. I love that. The spray down and then the recoil headshot. That's what we like to see. I gotta credit Corey. I don't know what kind of PG rated like metaphor I could use there, but he was wearing some steel pants right there for the stick on the defuse that he was going for. And I mean, he almost made it work, right? We've got Draven above, peeking through the floor, just trying to find that player, but he's basically out of ammo with the C8, spraying it down, and still Corey is sticking that disable. So thank goodness that Hype was there to not only find the first kill, but spray down the second with the recoil headshot. I would love it, production, if we could, hopefully, at some point, get a replay of that.
Yes,
and
please.
see how close. Yeah, I mean, we're really leaning on production tonight. But yeah, let's see how close was that?
I just feel like there are some very crude ways that we could refer to the courage of Hype in this game so far. Not even just that round, just the whole game. Even going back to the first round, it just... Oh, man. Yeah, very crude.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep. I need to write down some PG-rated metaphors because the ones coming to mind certainly aren't safe for stream.
Yeah. Well, the next round is afoot, and things aren't over for Rogue. They have some catching up to do, obviously, and this could be. He's not gonna commit to it. I was gonna say this could be a really cheeky spawn peek, but he's decided today is not the day for the cheeky behavior and just wants to play it a bit safer. I think that's
Hype would have had his head.
Yeah, Hype would have done it, man.
No, I mean, Hype was like pre-aiming that angle, so no way would Leon have survived that. Hype is, he's the man for the job. Let's have a look at this replay. Thank you, production. What is it on the timer? 3. Okay, there was still 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
So it's not like, if he had missed that spray, it's not like he would have lost the round, but I don't think that makes that ridiculous 2K spray down any more hilarious. Any less hilarious, I should say.
It doesn't make it any funnier. Stop laughing.
Doesn't make it more. Doesn't make it any less. It's just funny.
Well, as I say, obviously a new round has begun, and it's time for Rogue to show that they can catch up and they can deliver. And they were so close to doing that in the last round as well, despite how it actually ended up, transpiring. I don't think we can take away from the fact that Rogue really put in work and were very close to taking that round for themselves. So there's still that opportunity, there's still that chance. Just depends on the diligence and the vigilance that they exhibit this time round. Oh, all the C4s.
C4. Yeah, there you go. Drop down new hatch and you're going to get a new life. C4 ready and waiting. The Secret are doing a lot of droning. And Shate taking this nice aggressive position. Of course, it's a bit... it can be a bit deceiving how aggressive that position is in train. It doesn't necessarily mean you can plant, because that fireplace bomb site, it's a bit of a kill block. So Prano sees the head for just a moment, but doesn't click. Shate really preparing, clearing out a lot of this util, but they don't have top floor control. That's still in Rogue's hands. Nice nade to clear the mute jammer means that Packbull can detonate the X-Kairos, and a bit of a safer entry for Team Secret into the bomb site.
You can now see Prano's actually decided to make his move up the red stairs. I was kind of concerned that maybe his position would have been a bit too broadcasted and put him in a bit more danger after missing that headshot before, so him moving around could potentially provide some value. Shado's going to be taking a lot of damage, but instead he's going to be turning that around, make that a 2K. Team Secret are in this game and now just host the remaining, oh my god! 2K for him as well. He doesn't manage to carry it all the way through to the last one. But that was really... These teams, man.
I really hope that Secret have some new fans right now. I'm not going to lie. I was actually looking at my notes. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at my... I was looking at my notes during the mid-round there, and I look up because I hear you screaming, and then suddenly everyone is dead. Secret just yeeted it, absolutely yeeted it, and I think that they might continue that trend. Hive teased out a Ying, he might 6-pick onto it. Please tell me he does. He's been tapping heads, and I want to see him do that, and I want it to be hilarious and everyone on Rogue being flashed. Come on. No, okay, maybe not. But regardless, I think if Draven's gonna do it. Hell yeah! Let's get around it.
Heard you. All right, we're gonna do it for Devi Poo. Do it for our boy.
Look, I think it's safe to say that the 7-2 against G2 was not a fluke. Secret is here to stay, and if I was anyone else in the EUL, I'd be banning out Cafe against Team Secret. And if you look at the stats over a longer period of time, this hasn't been a crazy good map for these guys. Like, they actually lost it to Rogue in the GSA 7-2. They lost it to Virtus Pro in EUL. They beat My Insanity, which is a GSA team, not very much at all of this caliber, and then lost it to G2 back again in GSA. So this is not a map which we would have expected Secret to come out swinging on, but the consistency of not only beating G2, but now having such a convincing lead against Rogue, it just tells me if I'm coming up next week, if I'm Chaos, I'm panning the crap out of this map.
When I said a few rounds ago that Rogue weren't allowed to get any more rounds if Team Secret wanted to repeat what they did on Monday, I was joking.
You didn't think they were going to take you seriously there.
No, I did not.
All right, Gio. Challenge accepted.
And I think that's the really frustrating thing here for Rogue as well, because there have been so many moments where they are that close. And so when the scoreline looks like that, it can just be so difficult.
But Team Secret is consistently the team on top at the end of the day. Bar defense, the first attempt from Rogue. Flashbangs, oh my god, a myriad of projectiles go forth and burn out those ADSs, burn out the magnets. And I believe that shield at Pixel was dispatched with. Rogue had an aggressive player in Leon. Hype is trying to open the hatch with bullets. Yeah, good luck, mate.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race, you know. He's going to have no ammo left, but that doesn't matter. Hype is clearly... Come on, surely Draven's going to help out. This is actually hilarious. I don't think I've ever seen... Hey! Woo!
He got it eventually. And still you have Leon sitting patiently underneath New Hatch, just waiting for someone to come and join him. But no, he's decided to give up on that dream. Didn't work out. It's all right. It's all good. We'll forget about it. Instead, he's just going to be watching out for the angles elsewhere as he looks around, awaiting who might move in from Red Hatch and into Cigar. There's a nice kill. And not only is that a nice kill, but that's also the diffuser dropped as well. Candelas are going to be leading in Draven, but he's not going to find anyone as he starts to peek around the doorway.
Leon feels like his shoulders are where the game rests at the moment. That's why he's playing so aggressively. Another ADS safely protects Hosty on the shield in backstore, and Karzek also to support from washrooms. This is a very strong position for Rogue, especially as you mentioned with that diffuser. Prano had to go waste time grabbing that. Leon's still aggressive here in bar, and there's so much work to be done for Secret. Still 2 Candelas left remaining. Evil Eye dispatched with, surely this could be a smoke plant, potentially, but Backstore still firmly in control of the defenders. Secret, they're going to have to do something crazy to make this work, but we've seen it before, Gio. I think it might be possible.
Yeah, you never want to write it off. Less than 20 seconds to go, but you just don't know what could happen at this point. But with Corey opening up the engagement like that onto Hype, it leads you to believe that maybe things will go better for Rogue. Leon Gibbs is going to add on to the kill count. Corey making his second as well. Just Prano remains here for Team Secret, and it's a tall task. He'll have to ace if he wants to do it, but no, Rogue secure themselves a flawless round, and they are back in this game.
Well, they're not getting 7-2, that's for damn sure, but Secret, well, they've got quite a few buffer rounds here before they're at risk of a draw. Rogue is certainly a team capable of forcing us all the way to that 12th round on a comeback, but I think it all starts with Leon. Like we were saying, Leon's a player he's really, really passionate, and one of those players who sometimes, like, if things aren't going well, he's not necessarily going to be blaming his teammates. It's not like, oh, guys, we've got to do this. He's the kind of player that takes it really personally and says, if I could be doing better, and I need to be doing better. And I think Leon is really resting that pressure on his shoulders and saying, okay, the bar stops with me, I have to go big. And he certainly helped out that round. Taking down the hard breach of Barna made it much more difficult. In particular, as we mentioned, it wasted a lot of time with the diffuser having to be recollected. And Secret overall really struggled to clear out those shields. Despite all those flashbangs we saw early, they just seemed a bit lost. And Rogue kept that pressure up. They stood their ground. And now they're going to whip out a bomb site that we haven't seen so far. And this actually rounds us out. The 4th bomb site that Rogue have defended on this map in 4 rounds. They're going deep into the strat book because they know it matters right now. we'll see how they can defend mining and fireplace.
Yeah, I'd say it's a lucky day for us because it's not very frequently that you actually get to see any professional teams play on this bomb site. It's kind of like seeing Penthouse on Coastline. It's just a lucky thing you get once in a blue moon and you want to see the chaos ensue because you're not quite sure how it's going to go. It's definitely a risk because obviously we're on match point here for Team Secret. Once again, Leon looking to see if he can get one of those spawn peaks, but not yet. Not going to be seeing anyone. All right, we'll retreat. But again, as I say, it's risky. When you're on match point and you decide to go for a site that not only you don't usually go for, but anyone really, there's a lot more uncertainty around it. And unless Rogue have particularly stratted and prepared for something on this site to whip out when they really need it, it makes you worry.
But it does force Secret to do a lot of information gathering to find where these players are, as they're not used to attacking this site, and Hosty takes advantage of a very distracted Shate and finds the first kill on Rogue's side. You can tell Secret is a little bit lost, and Leon finds one as well. Things starting to fall apart now for Team Secret, and I think this was a great decision, going to the unusual bomb site. It's forcing Secret to clutter their comms, deciding what kind of a push they want to go for, and Rogue is taking advantage of that by playing aggressive off of the mayhem that is no doubt ensuing in the Secret comms right now.
Certainly throws you for a loop, and I said it could be worrying, but it also can work very much to your advantage, and that's the gamble that Rogue decided to make, and so far it's paying off. In go the drones. This is what Team Secret are really going to have to be relying on so that they have a much stronger idea of where their opponents are. They only have one left though. It's Hife's drone, as Draven and Prano have lost all of theirs, and Corey is here, ready and waiting underneath the hatch. This is such a sneaky attempt up the stairs, and a not so sneaky attempt to shoot down through the floor as Draven gets the first kill there. Leon Gids turning things around. This is going to be particularly worrying for Team Secret. Still holding on to those two last players. They've managed to scrape down some from Rogue, but Rogue with Hosty getting the 2k at the end there. We saw a 2k from him earlier. It wasn't enough, but this time it was. And once again, Rogue keep themselves in this competition despite being at the end of a tether just a few rounds before.
I think that's exactly what Rogue needed. Not only another round win, I mean, I think that's a bit axiomatic, but the fact that they did that on mining fireplace, the fact that they forced Secret to really just have a think, what on earth is going on? Rogue really played into it. They did an unusual strategy. They played quite aggressively on the back of it with Hosty in particular, and the Vigil also really stalling out Secret's info gathering. It meant that Secret is just going to be all talk. Like in the Discord, in comms, it's just going to be absolute chaos, absolute mayhem. That's exactly what Rogue wants to do. They want to start making Secret overthink things. Now Rogue can revisit these bomb sites that they failed, like Kitchen Cooking, and hope that Team Secret is still running a little bit too high on fumes and overcomplicating things, and Rogue can take advantage of that. I think that's Rogue's leg back into this game to make it a draw.
I mean, even just a couple of rounds ago when we spoke about it, it looked way more hopeless. But now when you get to that 4-6 scoreline, it suddenly looks a lot more possible. In reality, if they manage to pull back those last 2 rounds, all they've got to do now is repeat what they just did. And obviously, you know, as someone who is outside the game and a spectator, it's a lot easier said than done to just be like, hey, just win these next 2 rounds. Because, you know, they don't have the wiggle room. We spoke about this before. This is match point. If Team Secret managed to make this work for them, just as they did back in round 7 when they took this site off of Rogue, then it's all over for Rogue. So I have to really commend the fact that they don't seem to be letting the pressure bring them down, but more so drive them forward.
I like that 6 pick from Leon as well this round. He was bringing the Bandit when they defended Kitchen last time. This is just the exact same stock standard lineup with a double or triple, I guess you could say, hard breach denial. But they teased it out, they hit it, And that might just also, once again, add to Team Secret's comms, making them think, okay, is it top floor instead, maybe? Is it reading fireplace, rather, I should say, as that's the other bomb site that would be unlocked at the moment. But for Secret, they're taking map control. They don't have the Buck this time, but they do have the Sledge. The Sledge, however, makes them a little bit more vulnerable to C4s than the Buck would, so I'd love to see Rogue try to play off of that, get C4s once eventually Secret is going down into mining, into train, and opening up that floor onto the bomb site. My question is, can Rogue land them? Even if they do, is Secret going to stall out once again like they did last round?
Only time will tell. And as you mentioned, there is that huge risk of C4s, 4 of which are being held by Rogue, 1 of which in the hands of Leon right now as he sits on the bandit ready to throw. In goes the Zofia lifeline as the X-Kairos begin to open up the freezer hatch, and there's going to be Leon looking for his opportunity to throw. Already one has been thrown by Karjeka, and that actually downed Draven. Hype's going to have to go and deal with him, but obviously you run the risk of also being C4'd from below when that happens. But not going to be the case in this instance, and Draven can just get back up. But you did say running the sledge, it makes it more of a risk, and maybe it could happen again.
1 minute left on the clock and no bakery presence whatsoever from Team Secret. Plus, they open up that freezer hatch. That perfectly telegraphs that they are going for a rear side push, and they still don't have VIP control. They're focusing a little bit much on droning the bomb site and trying to get kills through the floor, but only 2 players from Rogue are actually in positions where they're exposed to those vertical holes. Team Secret still don't have control of VIP. Rip's literally just sitting there, may well win this round for Rogue. Team Secret may have to drop this hatch, and in which case Rips will have a perfect crossfire with the rest of his team. This is going to be so difficult for Secret to pull off.
And we've certainly seen the Rogue know that they can hit their shots when it matters, so it's not going to be an easy task for Team Secret if that is what they decide to do, which it is. They begin to jump in, Packball launching himself down into the hatch, but Leon is right there, ready to take the shot should he need to, but no, it doesn't work out for him, and in fact, Packball gets 2 kills for himself. Down goes the diffuser, and Rips has to move forward. Once again, a failed kill from Rogue. Team Secret are so close to taking this site, as just Corey remains on the side of Rogue. 3 more players he has to bring down if he wants to guarantee that he can get this disabled, but he's just going to go straight in for it. He's going for the bait, knowing that he's surrounded by these players of Team Secret, but it doesn't work and he doesn't survive. Team Secret take the round and they take the match, a well-fought victory, finished there by Prano. Team Secret win on Cafe Dostoevsky.
Team Secret had absolutely no rights winning that round. Absolutely none. But out of nowhere, no VIP control, dropping down that hatch, everything came to Packball. He's like, okay, I know I'm designated diffuser planter, but that doesn't matter. I know I have to make a splash on my entry. He took down 2 players before getting that diffuser down, and Team Secret, they turned nothing. They turned water into wine is what they did. That was a crazy game. Rogue almost had a comeback, but Team Secret stifled it when they really shouldn't have. Really impressive performance, and I think we have a new power rising in Europe.
I honestly feel like you could build a frag movie out of that game alone. And it wasn't even just mindless shooting. There was so much thought behind it. It was a new power building in Europe is definitely the right way to put it. Team Secret have done nothing short but impress so far this week, and I'm sure our analysts feel the same because, oh man, that was a lot. Let's hear what you guys have to think.